Hey guys, what is up? Ethan Builds here, back at it, and I'm gonna give you a little update on what's been going on. So as you can see, everything's torn apart. The engine has all of its stock parts on it. That's because the engine has blown up. It threw a valve. I'll put some pictures up right here. It threw a valve, and that valve put a hole in the cylinder, which then screwed up the whole head. Got some pretty good chunks in there, and it also absolutely destroyed the spark plug. So I took all my parts off of it that had to fit, like my exhaust, all my rear tubes, um, my slide carb, and basically anything other mods I had on there. I took off, and I put all the stock things back on. So I'm getting a new motor that's going to go in here. We're actually not going to use the slide carburetor because I had a small suspicion that may have been why, because it's a really cheap carburetor. So I bought a stage 1 kit. It was like $30. It wasn't that bad. It was on sale. So we're going to stick a stage 1 kit on there with the original carburetor. I'm going to use my exhaust pipe, which I have a header wrap coming in for it. It's a black one, so that will help with the heat, and it also won't burn me. I'm also going to season it. You take some sort of olive oil that has some high heat, I don't know the exact name of it, and you rub it all over, and you let it sit, and then it seasons it so that it doesn't rust or anything. So I should have probably done that at the beginning, but I forgot to. I have a new clutch coming in the mail. And also my frame actually cracked. So it's kind of hard to see. But if you can see right in there, I wiggle it. It just wiggles barely up and down. Yeah, you can see it there. Right there. And what now? But it cracked on actually both sides. So I got one of my dad's co-workers is gonna come and help me weld it at some point. Or maybe one of my friends will come over and help me. So yeah, it's been a rough couple days, but I've also been making a lot of money through my little jobs, summer jobs, and just like little tiny stuff that I've been doing. So I have enough money, and I bought all the parts. So yeah, so this is what's going on right now. So let's skip to when all the parts come in. Okie dokie. So it is one day later. In that time, all my parts came in, and I also got a new engine. So this is the Predator 212 Hemi. You can tell it's a Hemi because of this back cover here. It's more of a square boxy cover, where the other cover is more of kind of like a hexagon or octagon. And I was very surprised they sell this because in Connecticut they actually have a law or regulation saying that you cannot state these last time I checked. Now, last time I checked was a couple months ago. I don't know whether it's been changed or not, but we have them, and they were on sale at Harbor Freight. It was one of the last ones there, so I picked one up, 140 bucks, $120, and I bought the protection plan on it this time. It was like 20 bucks for a year. So basically, if this thing ever blows up, I bring it back, I get a whole new one. No charge or nothing. And then I got some parts, so I'll go over those really quick. I got a new throttle cable because this one, the end's all screwed up. As you can see in there, that's actually a electrical crimp fitting that I crimped on there. Plus, cable's a little bit beat up. I got a heavy-duty clutch because my other one, as you can see over here, it's all rusty in the inside. I didn't take care of it very well, oil it or anything. So this one's brand new. This one's actually meant if you ever go to like those go-kart tracks or anything, they have all those go-karts and junk like there. That's basically the clutch everybody uses. I went to one a couple weeks ago, and the guy actually sent me the link of it.
I have an exhaust wrap. This is actually a lot of exhaust wrap. This is going to go on my straight piped exhaust. I got to cut it and get it re-welded at some point this week. But that's going to go on there because I have, not on this leg, but I got some pretty good scars here from when I had this bike straight piped, so I don't want to take that chance anymore. It was on sale on Amazon because of Prime Day, $10. I picked it up, and everybody may be surprised this, but I bought a Stage 1 kit. Yeah, a Stage 1 kit for the stock air filter on this thing. I mean, not stock carburetor on this thing. So I basically just take the whole box off, and this slides right on. I just gotta bolt that on and put the little thing here that holds your choke on. But I was very surprised that I was told to buy this by a couple of my friends who have go-karts and stuff like that. They told me that, you know, this carburetor is good and all, but I don't want to risk blowing up another engine. Like, seriously, I don't want to. I don't have the money or the time to do it. So I think this was the best bet for the 30 or 40 bucks it was. I'm happy with it. That was like 50 bucks, but I mean, it's whatever at this point. So yeah. So I'm gonna check all the bearings on the wheels, and I have some brake pads somewhere that I can get. I'm gonna change the brakes. They're fine. You know, I have them aligned just about perfectly. You can see in there. I don't know if you can see, but you can see that the brake. There's a little. You can see between the rotor and the brake pads, so that's good. That's exactly where you want it. It's just like doing a car. I was gonna buy a new chain roller, but I think it'll be okay. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I washed it. I cleaned it up. So yeah, so I guess at some point this week, once I get that welded, we're going to start to put it together. Okay, this is day 3. So I put the air filter on, which is part of the Stage 1 kit I got. I put my old header exhaust on, which I'm actually going to, this may sound crazy, but you season it. So how you season it is you take peanut oil, which has a very high cooking temperature, and you basically rub it all over it. Now, I'm going to make this look nice and shiny first before I do that, so that it doesn't rust. And I'm also going to be putting a header wrap underneath it. It's a Kevlar header wrap, but you know, I just want to do that anyway because I have time. I'm going to be running a Pencil 5-weight 30 oil in this engine, and then I'm going to change it over after maybe 10 hours. I'll do an oil change, and I'll change the oil to probably the same thing, or maybe even a little bit heavier, just a little bit. I got all the rust off the chain, so maybe that will help a little bit. I forgot to order the little breathers for this guy, and for my OHV valve, where my springs are and my valves are. I forgot to order the little things that come at the end there, and one for the gas tank. They're little one-way breather valves. I forgot to order them, so I guess I'll just have to deal with it now. I have this little guy from the old bike, but it's a little bit chunky and doesn't match with that, so it's a whopping $10. Maybe if I have any Amazon returns, I can just spend it on that. I hooked up the throttle with a brand new throttle cable. It's hard to do it one-handed, but it works. You can see it's hard to pull it all the way, but I got it hooked up there. The key is getting this nut right here loose, because if you have it all the way tight, then it will just stay all the way open, and it won't spring back. You want to actually loosen it with a, I don't know how big the socket is, but you just want to loosen it so that it can have the retention to go back. But yeah, so my frame should be coming back soon. I actually have to put my 1-inch spacer on the back again to make clearance for my filter and my exhaust. I really wanted it to be flat so I didn't have to have any problems with it, but I mean, it is what it is. I would have also had to re-weld my exhaust because
as you can see, it kind of comes out at an angle, not straight if you're looking straight back at it. So I gotta put it up at an angle, and it would have interfered with my my fender in the back here. If you can actually see the last time when I had the stock exhaust on here, I actually burned some of it. I don't know if you ever knew that, because I had it at an angle. But yeah, so hopefully I'll get my friend back today, and hopefully the next clip you see will be me running it. Alright, I know I said in the last clip that you were gonna get a video of me riding this, but that was a couple days before I went on vacation, and I forgot to do it, and I've been pondering this video with all this other summer stuff. So I've done a lot to this thing since then. I had some more problems just riding around my friends and stuff like that. First thing I did was I took the front tire, I threw it on the back tire, I put a whole new brake caliper on, because my old one in the inside was actually rubbing against the brake caliper, so I resurfaced the brake caliper as well. I lost this valve to my OHV cover. It flew off while I was riding, maybe I hit a bump. So this time I got a clamp on, I don't know if you can see that, I got a clamp on where the OHV and the rubber hose meets, and I also got it tethered to my frame. What else did I do? Put a new chain on because my old chain snapped. I'm trying to get enough money to get new sprockets so we can go faster. I also got a new jet for it. I got a 0.38 jet. But when I was just riding it, it only goes to about $5,000. So I have the old jet, and I think I'm gonna put it back in there for now until I can save up enough money to get more jets and stuff like that. And you may be wondering why there's all this wood in there. We are doing the inside of my pavilion, but so this is my next little project. I just painted these, so I had the fan going on it. This project is going to be a front light. Now, you're wondering, well, why are you painting these parts? Why don't you just buy them? Well, the problem with this bike is you can't fit a battery anywhere. You can't. So I recently just bought this mini 12-volt DeWalt battery. It's a rechargeable battery, and I 3D printed this adapter to it, and I mounted it in there. So I have it all taken apart now because I painted it, but it actually fits right in here. I have a box that goes right in here. I gotta take off the fender to put it on, and it has one bolt in there, but it fits right in there, and then the power cables just come out, and I can run it up to here. I'm gonna have a little switch right here, and I'm gonna have a little voltmeter here, because the problem with these little tiny batteries is if you run them too low of the voltage, then it dies and it kills it, and you can't bring them back to life, and these batteries aren't cheap. So I'm gonna put a little voltmeter on that just to prevent that. Right now, my goal is to use these little cheap Chinese lights and light them on there. These are lights they use in big signs and big billboards, and the only reason I have these is because my dad works at a sign company, and they use thousands of these a day, and they're like half of a cent a piece. So just gave me a whole bag of them. This is the plate they're gonna go on. As you can see, one side kind of screwed up, but from the heat outside, but this side actually looks really nice and really good. So that's where all the lights are gonna go, and then this one perfectly fits into this box here. So I had to put a little bit of hot glue in it because it kind of bowed when printing. But this is a 7-inch long LED light bar. This is the bracket for it. It goes on the side there. I made the bracket, and this is the battery box that slides in there. It goes like this in there. So pretend the engine's over to the right-hand side there. Your battery hangs off the right-hand wall, and my finger is just pointing, and then right over there is your fender. So it's a super tight fit, but it works. So that's all the things I've been working on. I had an exhaust wrap on there, but I took it off, and I basically repolished the whole exhaust and everything. So without further ado, let's go for a little ride. Alright, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I know it was a short ride, but we'll talk about that in the next video, why I take such short rides. But also in the next video is I'm gonna make a video about this and my light system. And if you guys have a 3D printer, I'll show you. I'll give you the file to 3D print that. The box is really not that hard to make, but I'll send it to you, and I'll show you how to make that. It's really not that hard, and I'll show you how it looks on there, how it mounts, the battery, all the wiring. I'll show you everything. So if you guys like that, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I will get to that next video. See you later.